Okay guys, lately I've been having problems with my coolant leaking. I finally found where it was at. Turns out it was my water pump down here. So, lucky for you guys, I'm going to show you how to take that off. It might take me a while. As you can see, winter's come, so it's a little cold outside. But let's begin. This is a 2007 Saturn Aura. It's a 3.6 liter. So anyway, first thing you're gonna do is block your wheels. Now you can go ahead and lift the car right underneath the subframe right there. We'll put your jack stands right underneath here. Pinch welds. Once you got it on both sides, go ahead and slowly lower the car onto them. Just like that. Now you can pull your jack out. Now underneath the car, you're gonna see that I've already taken off this cover over here. And you can see my crankshaft pulley. But now you're gonna go down here. And this little tab right there. Let's see if I can show you. Right there, I'm pointing at it. You're gonna unscrew that and the coolant should drop from here. So make sure you place something there and we'll go from there. So now that I loosened it, let's see what happens. There we go. Have that draining. You just want to start taking off the air filter box from the top and then unplug your mass airflow sensor. So now we'll unclip this, loosen this up. Now that you have that out of the way, you're gonna take off just this one bolt and the whole thing should pop off. Now what you want to do next is you're going to take this hose off. As you can see, I already did mine. Take that out, just kind of push it out of the way, and then these two bolts will come out, which is attached to this. It's like a shock absorber for the engine. So you'll take that out. This step isn't necessary, but I mean, it's gonna give me a lot more room. Your water pump is down here. What you want to do is loosen the bolts before you take the tension off the belt, unless you want to go rent a tool or whatever. But that's how I do it. I'm gonna loosen them right now after I get these two off, get this bracket out of the way, that way I can see better. Okay, that bracket's out of the way. Now, like I said, you're gonna loosen them. Just loosen them for now. Don't take them all the way out. And then you're gonna put a small 3/8 breaker bar down here, and this will loosen up the belt, and you'll take it off. So guys, that was actually a 1/2 inch breaker, but as you can see, you just pull back on it, and it should move and loosen up that belt. Then you can slide it over the top. And then now, since you have your bolts loosened, now you can take that pulley out. Use a breaker bar, you're gonna have a hard time getting it out. So what you're gonna do is go on the top of it and push it with the pry bar, and it should move the motor a little bit, and that should give you enough room to pull it back out. I don't recommend it, but you know, that's just how I had to do it. So now you just take your bolts out, like I said, and that's it. Remember, you can spin it, don't make your life harder, and they should be able to take out with just your hand. Just to make sure that the water pump is leaking, I'm gonna go ahead and, well, I went ahead and put this hose back, And well, I'm gonna have to add water to the system again. So unless you know for sure, don't take the coolant out unless you already know for sure that you know where the problem is at. But since this is tucked away, I'm kind of seeing that there's water up here, so I'm kind of thinking that it's probably the leak is up here. I believe there's an O-ring somewhere in there, but I'm gonna go ahead and pressure test it. So now what you want to do is get your pressure tester. Like I said in my other video, if you don't have one of these, you can always go to your local auto parts stores and they should have it. So just get the one with the right attachment, or the right attachment you need, and just get it on there, and then I'll show you what to do. Our cap calls for 15 psi, so I already pumped it up. This is pretty much how it's connected. Pretty simple. So now we check where we suspected our leak, and now I can see a water droplet coming out of there. As you can see, the water is flowing from above. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. So I can tell you right now that the problem was not the water pump. Right now you'll see a little bit of flow going down, and it'll start right around here. Can't get the focus, and it'll drip down, and that's why when they diagnosed it, they thought it was a water pump. But anyways, just to get the water pump out, so you guys know, you just take out all these little bolts. It is recommended you use new ones, and that's pretty much it to take out the water pump. But I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. I really don't know what to call it, but I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. Okay, so I took out that piece. It's just 2 bolts, and then it's clamped down right here. The hose right above the power steering reservoir. As you can see, this is the clamp, and it just pulls right out. I think my problem might be this gasket here, or possibly this O-ring, but either way you're gonna have to change both, and then you can put that back in. What you want to do is replace both of the gaskets, like I said. Should come out easy. After you've taken out the O-ring and the gasket, clean up the surfaces a little bit, right here and here, as well as on the car itself. Make sure you clean that up, and a little bit there. What you want to do next is lightly lubricate it with the coolant itself. I just put a little bit around. I mean, coolant is a little oily as it is, so that should work just fine. So you have that all ready to go. Just shove it in. It should pop right in, and then start putting your bolts back. Remember, there's only 2 of them, so it is just 6 bolts. Compare the 2. There you go. 6 bolts. Like I said, compare it. This one wasn't bad, but I mean, I had already bought it. But anyway, so what you do next is you got to take out the old gasket. Just take it out, put the new one back in, and then put the water pump back. To use a plastic scraper. Has some sucks, but did most of the trick. And then you're gonna put a new gasket. That's the gasket we're gonna use, and let's install our water pump. Now you'll put the clamps back, put this hose back, and then we'll move this over right here. and then we'll pressure test it again. After a couple minutes, I can say it's confirmed. Our water pump and the outlet pipe are both good. No leaks. Okay guys, I didn't want to show you how to put all these things back. Just because it's a little time consuming. Already got it back. I just wanted to give a little word of advice. When something is disturbed, for example that pipe I took out, it'll tend to leak even though there wasn't a leak there, but the O-rings are so old that it creates a leak after it's disturbed. For example, when I held the engine, when I was taking out the transmission, I had to hold it through that bracket that's right there. So what happened was it hit the pipe, and I'm sure some of the weight went on it, and that's what happened. That's how the leak happened, so just be aware of that. And then my radiator plug wasn't sealing up right, so I went ahead and bought a new one, and it's sealing up good now, or it should. Now I just need to fill it up. This car requires Dex Cool, so remember to get the right one. You're gonna fill it up, and of course turn on the car and put the heat in full blast. Do that for a couple minutes. The fan will cycle. That's how you know the car's warmed up, or it should. I don't know if it'll do it right here in the cold. It is a day after, and it snowed a whole lot more. But anyway, that's it guys. If this video helped you out, give me a thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Alright guys.